Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to this week's edition of SICW Championship Wrestling. And as we've been telling you for the last several weeks, we are on the road, SICW with the road tours. A couple of weeks ago, we had the owner of Worldwide Technology Raceway, Mr. Francois, was here. Last week, we had Gary Jackson, who received the Sam Muchnick Award back in May. He's receiving the Wrestler of the Year Award out in Las Vegas this year in August. So as we talk about the past, the present, the future. This week, we want to start off with a little bit in the past. We're going to show you one of those great classics from Wrestling at the Chase. We'll be right back after this.
The hat that Billy Griffin wore in the ring. John can get a shot over here at ringside. Okay, we're going to get a shot of the hat.
Give me the cowboy. I'll take the cowboy.
And it's Bill Cody and Bulldog Bob Brown. And it's Billy Griffin and Dewey Robertson. We got to get a shot of this because Brown went over and knocked it off his head before he was introduced and before you were able to come back from the break. We want you to see, there's the hat. I don't know. There it is. I guess if Bulldog Bob Brown wins, he'll get to take this hat home with him. It was Billy Griffin's. Thank you, John. I don't know what it is. I checked it first before I grabbed it. Billy Griffin, the Rooster, starts out against Bill Cody. Love that hat. Maybe I can talk Sam Muchnick into wearing a hat like I don't think so. No, he'll stick with his Kroger.
He'll never make the Kroger gang, I'll tell you that.
And for those who aren't in on the joke, Sam Muchnick, Bob Burns, Bob Bragg, Don Lenhart, George Sylvie, and any number of fine people have gotten into wearing a certain style cap that back in the 20s and 30s was often worn by those people who happened to rob certain stores. They picked up the name of, as we mentioned, Kroger. That's what we're teasing Sam about. Bill Cody, the drop kick on Billy Griffin. The chicken and the bulldog, or the rooster and the bulldog, as Ali Hofstadter points out, and Billy Griffin ended up in the first row. The crowd hoots and hollers at Billy Griffin. Griffin is upset. Robertson says, "What's going on with my partner?"
How do you describe his shorts or long pants or whatever that is that he's wearing? That's something else, too. Pink.
What worries me is my daughter Kelly's got a pair of pajamas like that. Oh, dear. It's Billy Griffin and Dewey Robertson against Bulldog Bob Brown and Bill Cody. Don't take anything away from Griffin, though. He's a spunky, tough little customer. He backs up from nobody. Side headlock by Griffin on Cody. Griffin thrown to the ropes. Cody ducks. Uh-oh. Griffin falls down. Is trying to stay away from being punched. Brown didn't do a thing to him.
He just took one look at Brown and fainted back.
And Griffin crawls over into the corner where Dewey Robertson is. Dewey says, "Hey, give me a tag, man." I don't know if Griffin wants to. He says, "They're pulling my hair. They're abusing me. They're cheating." Robertson has some advice, and probably one thing he's saying is, "Hey, cool down a little bit. Take it easy." Griffin's bound to be all worked up. He's in, a major wrestling town. One that certainly Sam Muchnick made the major town. Oh, Robertson threw a drop kick at Cody and flattened Griffin. And Griffin ends up next to the Bulldog, who checks out his vision. Whatever business problems there might be, wrestling as a spectator sport is second to none. A chop by the Bulldog to Billy Griffin. Brown drops Griffin. Now Griffin wants to tag. And Dewey Robertson going to try to change the momentum, I'm sure, a little bit of this match. So Griffin hasn't had everybody else picking on him. Now referee Ed Warren balls him out because he doesn't get out of the ring quick enough. It must have been the hat. Griffin has Brown locked in the corner. Here comes Robertson. Oh! Robertson threw the high knee lift, and Griffin couldn't hang on. And here comes everybody outside the ring. Brown slams Robertson into the steps. The Bulldog. He's biting today. Griffin and Robertson slammed together by Bulldog Brown. Brown whips Robertson into Cody. Mickey Garagiola and Ollie Hofstetter again doing yeoman service, finding everything and putting it back together. Cody spun into the corner by Robertson. Oh, Cody trapped there. And Robertson, obviously, his temper a bit the worse for wear, starts pounding on Cody. Cody tossed to the ropes, and Robertson puts him down, a blast to the stomach. Cody throws a headbutt to the stomach of Robertson, but it really didn't land.
"15 minutes left. 15 minutes.
15 minutes remain in the curfew. No falls yet. Brown and Cody against Robertson and Griffin. Oh, Cody jammed into the corner by Dewey Robertson. Robertson with a flying mare. And Dewey rakes his boots across the face of Bill Cody. Cody sinking into some trouble here against Dewey Robertson. Cody close to the tag. Cody lands a punch to the stomach of Robertson, then reaches out to tag Bulldog Brown. Robertson retreats a bit, maybe hoping that Brown would make a mad rush. Griffin tried to sneak into the ring. Brown helps him into the ring. Brown throws Griffin into Robinson. And I think Robertson caught it right on the chin. Brown slams a fist down onto the back of Dewey Robertson.
Griffin don't know when he's ahead by staying outside. He wants to get in there all the time.
It didn't work out so good. Oh, Griffin pops Brown. Robertson lands a blow to the floating rib area. Robertson. Oh! Knocked Brown into Griffin. Brown and Griffin both took a lump from that one. But Brown in a bit of trouble here. The Bulldog comes off the ropes and Robertson tags him with a blast to the head. Try for a pin. Not a one, at two. Brown was kicking and Cody was there to help. Griffin grabs Bulldog by Brown, strangling him. Griffin, the rooster, bites. Oh, Griffin scraping and scratching the face and the chest of Bulldog. He's scrappy, he's living up to his reputation. But Brown throws Griffin off at the count of two and then makes a tag with Bill Cody. Cody tears into Billy the Rooster Griffin. Another kick to the chest. Cody covers. Griffin gets away. Tag made to Dewey Robertson. Robertson wanting Cody to come to him perhaps. Tried to duck in and does get the bear hug. Almost didn't get it. Cody almost cut him off by grabbing the head, but Robertson was able to clamp the bear hug home. Rope, and the referee calling for the bell. I don't know what Robertson was thinking of coming off the top rope. Perhaps it was just one of those cases where he forgot what state he was in. That's an automatic disqualification here. So the first fall by disqualification goes to Brown and Cody, but Brown might well be hurt after Robertson leaped onto Brown from the top rope. Let's get the official time and verdict from Mickey Garagiola. With all the traveling, it's not uncommon that in this state, leaping on an opponent from the top rope is illegal. You go to the next state, it's legal. But there's Robertson up on the top rope. The referee cautioning him. You see Lee Warren telling him it's a disqualification, but Robertson didn't hear him with the crowd screaming. The referee called for the bell. Brown, much the worse for wear. We wait for the bell to start the second fall. So Brown and Cody have won the first fall by disqualification, but with Brown hurt, they might be in tough way to go in the second stanza. Robertson nails Bulldog. Another punch by Robertson on Bulldog, trying to hit that damaged chest cavity area. Brown sags down. He is in trouble. Griffin sneaks in from outside and grabs Brown right by the windpipe. Dewey Robertson drops his knee into the chest. Brown again banging in the knee. Rather, Brown taking that knee being banged into his chest by Robertson. And the count of two, Cody there to save the Bulldog. That might have evened this up at a fall apiece. Brown definitely on the receiving end now. Knee drop by Robertson. Dewey Robertson again. Really scoring heavily with the knee on Bulldog Brown. Here comes Rooster Griffin. Griffin with several kicks to the head of Bulldog Brown. Brown slams his own knee into the head of Griffin. Oh, a kick right into the back of the ribs. A chop by Griffin. Griffin covers Brown. Brown throws Griffin off. Brown rolls through the ropes. He's hurting. Those ribs certainly at least bruised. Uh-oh, Robertson going out after him. Dewey Robertson, the man outside the ring on the apron for his team, taking advantage of Brown being outside. Here comes Cody. Brown having trouble finding a safe spot right now. Bulldog, seasoned veteran that he is, taking his time, knowing he has a 20 count out there. Griffin sneaks over. Oh, Brown got him by the hair. Pow! Down goes Griffin. That should buy the Bulldog a few extra seconds. Here comes Dewey Robertson again. Oh, Brown saw him coming, but Robertson got the better of it. Oh, and Robertson slams Brown into the steel ring post. Brown just keeps getting into more and more difficulty. Griffin sneaks over with that kick to the head of Bulldog Brown. Brown really taking a beating. Comes Griffin again. Robertson sneaks into the ring. Oh, Robertson flattens Griffin. Brown slipped away. Maybe this is Brown's chance to get over, make a tag, get a fresh man in. Oh, Cody jerks the neck of Griffin down and luckily makes a tag. That could have been a mistake by Cody because it put him out of tag range with Brown. But luckily for Cody and Brown, Griffin was stunned and Cody had time to get it back up on the apron where he could legally tag Bulldog. Bulldog obviously not too happy. He might be thinking revenge if he gets his breath back. Flying there. Cody with that neck snap, a neck snap comparable to that leg snap you'll see to punish a hamstring, this to punish the neck. Griffin gets the shoulders up. Griffin missed the tag. You know, Mickey, I see all these people are so excited, the yelling and the screaming. I can't tell you how much their friendship, their support, their loyalty's meant over the years. Special people in all sports, and I've been on, like you, been on the spectator side many times at other events, baseball, football, hockey, the soccer, everything else, the basketball. These people here mean a lot, part of the community. It makes me proud to be part of this community, to see the way they do conduct themselves, the enthusiasm and the intelligence they show at all sports. Special group. I have to say thank you to them. That's my own personal thanks to them.
It's a great time, that's for sure, Larry. 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left.
Robertson drives the knee into the hamstring of Cody. It's easy to make friends with people like these.
I tell you, Larry, these are great fans because you can stand out in line and wait for to go into any kind of a sporting event here, an hour, 2 hours before time. You got to be a great fan, and it's been proven here in St. Louis with the different crowds that we've been getting here. So they're great, and our wrestling fans, they got to be on top.
Definitely, definitely. As I know from my own, and you do too, from your own personal experience over the last 13, 14 years.
So you're going to miss them. There's no doubt about it.
No question. I'll be out on the other side with them.
And you better have your ticket or you're not coming in.
Well, that's entirely possible.
That's the way John Baker wants it.
And again, my praise to the crew here at KPLR and all the fine people that you deal with. Professionals all the way. They know their business. In addition to being nice folks. Double toe hold by Billy Griffin on Bill Cody. You do what you got to do, you know. Right, Mick?
That's right. That's the name of the game.
Cody trying to call away.
Take care of number 1 first.
That's you.
No, I'm
Is that
two.
why you asked me for a loan today? Mickey's been a great friend. Brown starts to come into the ring. The referees chase him back out. Griffin struts to his corner. He knows Cody's getting in as much trouble as Brown was in earlier. Dewey Robertson jams that knee. You know, Dewey's probably thinking figure 4 leg lock right now. Oh, Cody rolls over close to the corner, and Griffin's right on top of him.
3 minutes left. 3 minutes.
Robertson again lifts Cody, drops that knee down. Oh, Cody bounces away. Robertson stops Cody from tagging the Bulldog. Tag made to Dewey. Up and over the top goes Bill Cody. Cody kicks Griffin away. Cody trying to go between the legs of Griffin. He does. And makes it over to the Bulldog. Brown's had some time to recuperate. Brown puts Griffin down. Brown pops Griffin, drops it. The Bulldog looking to rip off the leash right here. Oh, Griffin goes sailing.
Oh.
Bulldog Brown again tosses Griffin to the ropes and again sends him flying over the top. Brown with the leg drop. Brown covers Griffin. Count of 1. Robertson there to break it up. Cody trying to sneak in the ring. He drop kicks Robertson, glances off the back. Cody drop kicks Griffin. Brown with the leg drop on Griffin. After Cody drop kick, count of 1, count of 2, 3. Lee Warren got in there and kept Robertson getting in to break up the pin. Warren knocked over by Robertson, but that makes it 2 straight falls. We check the clock, and I think we do have a winner, yes. 2 straight falls. The first coming by disqualification. And let's right now hand out some applause to the referee, in that case Lee Warren, when Robertson came charging into the ring to try and break up the pin. Warren threw his own body in there to make sure that he didn't. And of course, that's what allowed Brown to keep Griffin's shoulders down. Now let's go to Mickey Garagio. Take another look at it. Brown with that leg drop on Griffin, and it looked as though this was it for Griffin right here. Robertson came in the ring, kicked Brown right in the head. That broke up a possible pin. You can see the referees angrily chasing Robertson out. Cody threw a drop kick at Robertson, really didn't score, but the drop kick then that Cody hit Griffin with did work. Brown saw the man down, hit him with another leg drop. Now watch him cover, watch Robertson try to come to Griffin's aid as Ed Warren dives in, and his brother Lee tries to keep Robertson away, keep Robertson from making an illegal thing. Down goes Lee Warren, but he did the job he's paid to do. He kept the man out from illegal interference, and of course that was the 2nd straight fall. Therefore, the winners of the match in 2 straight falls, Bulldog Bob Brown and Bill Cody.
The second main event, an Australian tag team match, 1 fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing from Seattle, Washington, weighing 244 pounds, Greg Valentine. From Osaka, Japan, weighing 247 pounds, Yasu Fuji. And from Indianapolis, Indiana, weighing 236 pounds, Spike Hubert. From Winnipeg, Canada, weighing 245 pounds, Bulldog Bob Brown.
Spike Huber and Bulldog Bob Brown go against Greg Valentine and Yasu Fuji. Fuji hasn't been on Wrestling at the Chase for about 6 or 7 years, and in that interim, he's done a lot of wrestling in Europe, in England in particular. Valentine circles with Huber. Valentine hasn't been here in person for almost a year. Valentine leans into Huber, pushes Spike to the ropes. The referee trying to get a clean break from Greg Valentine, and gets one. Greg Valentine. Boy, Valentine, there's one of the famous names in wrestling history. Greg's dad, Johnny, had so many great battles here in St. Louis. So many sellout crowds. And Greg certainly carrying the name well. Greg's been on top in main events both here, all over the East Coast. Headline programs in Madison Square Garden in Tokyo, Japan. Top line talent, no question about that when you talk about Greg Valentine. Valentine pitches Huber to the ropes. Valentine misses the elbow. Huber, flying scissors, shades of Luthez. Valentine manages to throw Huber off. Good move by Spike Huber. Greg Valentine takes a long look at Bulldog Bob Brown. How many matches did Luthez win that way? The former St. Louis resident, a St. Louis native, and 6-time former world champion. Thez now living in Newport News, Virginia. Valentine catches Huber with a knee lift. Valentine lifting Huber on the inside. Oh, a type of rib breaker, really. Looked as though he were trying to aim for that floating rib. Of course, that can be a very punishing blow whenever you land in that floating rib area, and that's what Valentine was aiming for, and he hits the same spot again with a knee drop. Here comes Yasu Fuji with a kick. Fuji working on the side of Spike Huber, and then Fuji with a bear hug on Huber. We'll see how sharp Mickey is now. Who was Yasu Fuji's tag team partner when he wrestled here on Wrestling at the Chase last about 8 years ago?
8 years ago. Kinja Shabua.
Well, you got the right country, wrong wrestler.
That's good.
If it had been the St. Louis Browns, you could have told me. Now, Chatty Yokouchi, remember him? He was killed in an automobile crash a few years back, but Yokouchi and Fuji came over together from Japan and were tag team partners throughout the Midwest. They split, went their separate ways, and Yokouchi, unfortunately, passed away in an automobile accident. Tragic thing. Young wrestler, a lot of potential.
I'll tell you, you're something else. You gave me some 8 years ago. I have trouble 8 minutes ago when I remember coming in the side door.
And there's the guy who talks about the St. Louis Browns and tells me who played third base in 1944 and made the 12th. Yeah, we know, Mick. Greg Valentine with that rib breaker again. Of course, Don Lenhart's the guy who tells Mickey all that stuff about the Browns. Mickey was too young. He doesn't remember. Brown came to the rescue of Spike Huber.
Lenhart was just a slow den.
Look out, oh, Valentine and Huber both a little bit out of control as Valentine came careening off those ropes. Huber came up a little bit off balance. Valentine going for the suplex on Huber. He gets Huber to the air, and there it is, a suplex by Valentine. Huber might not have needed help. The Brown was taking no chances, and now Valentine goes after Brown. Greg Valentine and Bulldog Brown battling, while Fuji gets a hold of Huber and strangles him over the top rope. Brown battering Greg Valentine. Of course, here comes Huber looking for a tag. Nobody's home. Brown and the referees are in it as the referees trying to chase him out of the ring. Here comes Fuji. And I'm not altogether sure that Bulldog Brown didn't do his partner more harm than good. Valentine again grabbing Huber and slamming him down, this time the stomach right into the knee. And I'll tell you, Huber's stomach and ribs have really taken a battering from Greg Valentine. Huber's thigh caught the ear of Valentine. Valentine going for the second suplex. Huber blocking it. Huber, nice block, and a suplex of his own on Valentine. Good move by Spike Huber. Fuji there to break up a possible pin.
Five minutes have expired, 10 minutes left.
Huber hits the ropes. Oh, and Valentine clotheslines Huber as Spike comes flying off. Valentine covers. Huber gets the shoulder up. Valentine twisting the head of Spike Huber. He looks like Johnny. Not quite as big, but a very strong and powerfully built, compact young man, Greg Valentine. And now Fuji, tagged into the ring, continues the assault on the neck of Spike Huber. Has Brown been tagged in yet? I don't think he's had a tag. Huber's been in there all alone for a while. Of course, that might work against the Brown and Huber, who've been partners before and normally work together pretty smoothly. So far, but unable to get their quick tagging together. There is a tag. And here comes the Bulldog. Bulldog Brown tearing into Yasu Fuji. Fuji jammed in the corner, up and over the top. Brown with the leg drop on Fuji. This could be it. Count of one, count of two, no count of two. Fuji got away. A chop to the throat by Brown. Side headlock, and Brown takes Fuji down. Bulldog Brown comes in and quickly takes command. An important thing right there, because Hubert had a long stretch inside the ring, had been double teamed a couple of times, and had taken some punishment. Brown threatens to pop Fuji in the nose. Lee Warren says, oh no. Fuji grabs the hair. Brown pops him in the nose. Maybe that's why Brown let his hair grow long. Anybody grabs it, gives him an excuse to belt him. Fuji throws Brown to the ropes. Fuji ducks. Oh, Valentine caught sleeping by Brown. Valentine angrily into the ring, and the referees cut him off.
I tell you, that Brown don't fall asleep at any time.
Yeah, you're around him, you better not fall asleep.
Oh,
Happened to you once. The next thing we knew, you were underneath a table and two chairs.
that's right.
Or was that the Bruiser?
Brown's always in the middle of things between him and the Bruiser.
Yeah, that's to say the least. Brown with the side headlock on Yasu Fuji. Fuji hits the ropes. Brown and Fuji. Fuji the flying tackle. Brown waiting with a scoop body slam. Side headlock. Brown back in control. So the referee dived right into to check those shoulders. Good work by Lee Warren. Fuji's shoulder was dangerously close to the mat, and then he managed to roll over. Tag made to Huber. Spike's had time to recuperate. Brown sets Fuji up for Spike. And Huber with that side headlock on Fuji. Huber pitched to the ropes. Comes off and Fuji catches him for a body slam. Huber kicks out nicely. Huber with the arm drag. Good work by Spike. You talk about a guy who gives 110% every time out. It's Spike Huber. The referees chase Brown back to his corner. Put that man in his doghouse. I guess that's what they're saying.
Hey, that's right. Put the Bulldog back in the doghouse. I tell you, he acted.
Bulldog Brown, listen to us. You better pay attention to the match, Bob.
Well, he says we're all right.
We're
so
all
I
right,
agree
he
with him
likes
100%.
Fuji, hey, nice move. Fuji, nice move again. And Huber kicks out. Huber back with the arm drag. Well, Fuji made a couple of fine maneuvers, but Huber kept right on moving and eventually made the right move himself. Spike really has a mouse in that right eye. He must have been caught there earlier in the match. I don't think the eyelid is split or anything, but he caught something. He certainly has a bruise of some sort on the eyelid. And Huber continues to punish the arm of Yasu Fuji. Tag made to Brown. Now it's Brown and Huber who are making the tags, and Fuji is caught inside the ring. Brown punishing that arm, twisting it, and then the pump handle. Joe Milich would be proud. A chop by Fuji. Another chop by Fuji. Brown trying to hang on to that arm, and Fuji, with the chops, is able to get enough maneuvering space that he gets over to Valentine. Oh, Valentine pops that forearm right on target, then the elbow. Valentine with the elbow to the head.
10 minutes have passed, 5 minutes left.
Valentine covers Brown. Brown's foot is on the bottom rope. Valentine comes off the ropes. There's the big elbow. His dad called it the brain buster. The first one to really use the elbow a lot. He called it the brain buster because originally he delivered it strictly to the skull. Now you'll see that elbow delivered everywhere, but there is where oftentimes it's most effective. Valentine squeezing the head of Bulldog Bob Brown. Huber urging Brown to get over and make a tag. Brown on his knees, but Greg Valentine in command. Valentine certainly among those people who'll be looking for a crack at the winner between World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair and the Missouri King, Kerry Von Erich. What a great duel that's going to be. What a great match it was when Von Erich met Cowboy Bob Orton. You talk about slipping past with a victory. That's just about what Kerry did. As we've talked about many times, when you get up among the top people, in the really class of the wrestling profession, that's what you're talking about with Orton and Von Erich, any of the Von Erichs for that matter. On any given night, anything can happen. They met 6 times, it might be 3 for Orton and 3 for Von Erich. Of course, the thing that counts right now is that Von Erich got the last one. And that's the one that earned him a crack at the World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair. Bob Brown trying to crawl over to Spike Huber. Here comes Fuji into the ring. The referee's chasing Fuji back. Brown makes a tag. I don't think the referee saw it. I'm sure the referees didn't see Huber make that tag because they were keeping Fuji out of the ring.
3 minutes left, 3 minutes.
Oh, a bad break for Brown and Huber. The referees were trying to keep Fuji back where he belonged, and when Brown was able to get over and make that tag, the referee simply didn't see it. And Brown is still caught in that ring. Fuji with a nerve clamp on Bulldog Brown. Fuji stomps on Brown's hand. Brown sinking into a lot of trouble right here. Fuji digging in, trying to wear down the Bulldog. Boy, those elbows of Valentine will really be effective now if he can bang him into that same area that Fuji's punishing. Fuji with a chop to the back. Fuji still digging in. Oh, Brown jabs the eyes. Fuji trips Brown. Here comes Valentine into the ring. Was the tag made? Yes, the tag was made. Valentine's the guy who belongs in there. Greg Valentine and Bulldog Brown toe-to-toe. Brown staggers back to the corner and Fuji drops him. Spike Huber worried as can be because he knows Brown is really in trouble. Valentine with that brain buster, the elbow dropped right into the chest. And now Valentine goes to the figure 4 on the Bulldog. Time fast running out, and Valentine going for the figure 4. Valentine realizes he can't get it and drops back on that ankle.
1 minute left, 1 minute.
Valentine trying to punish that leg. There he goes for the figure 4 again. Tries to split the legs and drops back, scissoring the knee on Bulldog Brown. Brown trying to get over where he can tag Spike Huber, and Valentine trying to stop him. Valentine again steps over. Brown kicks Valentine to the rope. Valentine drops. And Brown tags Huber. Here comes Spike Huber. And Huber tears into Greg Valentine. Huber whips Valentine, ropes up, and over the top. Fuji comes in and Huber catches Fuji coming in. Here comes Brown after Fuji. Huber after Valentine. All 4 men in the ring, and we have a Donnybrook now. Fuji pitched out of the ring. Valentine slammed into the corner. And there's the bell. The time limit has expired. But we still have all 4 men going at it hot and heavy. Valentine and Huber. Brown trying to get back in the ring. Valentine with a body slam on Spike Huber. Huber after Valentine. Spike Huber still trying to get after Greg Valentine, with the referees restoring order. The time limit has expired. The match is stalemate. And we'll make it official by going to the ring and talking with none other than Mickey Garagiola.
With time running out, the referee declares the match a draw.
Well, there you have it. One of the great classics from Wrestling at the Chase, that household name for many, many years. It started on television in 1959. All the greats, Dick the Bruiser, Gene Kiniski, Pat O'Connor, Bruiser Brody, Ric Flair, and many, many more that your parents and grandparents used to watch each and every weekend. What great memories they are. Right now, we're going to get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with some of the present and the future.
Wrestling fans, you looking for the best in daily lunch specials and great menu food items? Look no further than Layla's Roadhouse, 440 Falling Springs Road in Cahokia Heights, Illinois. That's right, a family sit-down dining and always great specials. Also has the best pizza in the area.
One of our great sponsors, can't do it without them each and every week. We're right here on SICW Championship Wrestling. We've been talking in the past about the great show we had at the racetrack. As I said, we had the owner, Mr. Francois, here. This week, I'm honored and pleased to have the guy that I got to share the ring with on the day of the melee on the Midway, Mr. Chris Blair, the general manager of the Raceway. Chris, welcome and thanks for coming into the studio today.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Wow, I mean, what a day the melee on the Midway was.
It was absolutely unbelievable. We knew that there was going to be some excitement because of the events we've been attending and the lead up that we've been building up to this since February, since we first started on this. And then when it really started to happen, we kind of went into that not really knowing exactly what the response was going to be. And within 10 seconds, we knew we had a hit on our hands. And just watching that crowd reaction, it was just absolutely incredible. And the great part about it is, we had a lot of wrestling fans there, but I feel like we won over a lot of fans who were there for the NASCAR race. It seemed like they were just as involved and having as much fun as anybody as the show was taking place.
Well, as I told Curtis when he was on with us, I was so amazed of the crossover of the racing and wrestling fans. When it started raining, I mean, they didn't leave. They stood around the ring, and we sat on the golf cart and got soaking wet. But as I told Curtis, I was so impressed with the whole way it was put together. Mm-hmm. From the first meeting that we had with you, and of course Allison was there, and it just kind of grew from there. Yep. And I'll be honest with you, I was worried because I never had been involved in something of that magnitude. Mm-hmm. So I had to tell the workers when I was making the arrangements with them, hey, this has the potential to be one of the biggest audiences that a lot of you have been in front of in a long time, if any. But my hat's off to all of them, because when we were shifting gears, when you were watching the weather and you called me and said, hey, can we put a show back on in 10 minutes? Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it showed the dedication that those wrestlers have. Yeah. And then to get out there and wrestle in the rain, they're like the race car drivers. They get out there and race in the rain. So just great. I mean, are you still getting feedback?
Still getting lots of feedback from diehard race fans who didn't know what to expect, and they were really amazed. I think you made a lot of new fans for SICW by being there, because there's so many local people who are diehard race fans who live here in the immediate area. And a lot of the questions I was getting is, where'd you find these guys? And I'm like, they're here. They're here in town. You can see them, at least once a month, or you can see them more. And so there's a lot of people who are really excited about it. And kind of going back to you and your team, everybody with SICW, we kind of went in there with a blank slate, and we were just, well, let's try putting this here and let's see how this flows. And there was a lot of stuff where we had to do some tweaks and adjustments, and the flexibility of your crowd and your team working with us to make that happen. And again, we saw that opportunity when we had that delay. We wanted to keep people engaged, keep the fans entertained, and the way your folks so quickly responded, 10-minute notice and they're back at it, that really goes to show the level of professionalism that your team has. And it was fantastic. And it's one of those things, a lot of people would be panicking if the weather was rolling in. I think we saw that as an opportunity to really capture something and really make something that people are going to remember for a very, very long time.
Well, I got to really give a big thank you, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, but when the rain was coming down and after it took a break and we were going to move on, we needed some way to get the rain off of the canvas. And you and I were standing there, and you hollered over to some gentleman and said, "Hey, we need a squeegee." And it wasn't 30 seconds, and he's up in the ring squeegeeing, and then everybody's clapping for him and cheering for him, made him a star.
So that's Colby Haar, who's from Germantown. He's been with us for about 7 years on our crew, and we nicknamed him the Vanilla Gorilla way before this. So we think he'd be perfect.
In the ring.
You should. So, and he was having fun with it too, and all of our team really had a fun time. And it's one of those things. I hope from moving forward it's always sunshine and perfect, but knowing that if we do face some challenges, we can all hop in there, and everybody responded and really wanted to pull off a good show.
Well, and as I told Curtis, I was out there both days, and the staff was so professional, from the men and women who were assisting with the parking, from the law enforcement. I mean, I witnessed some fans that was walking across. They were stopping some of the security people and the law enforcement people and saying, "Hey, where's this at? Where's that at?" And it wasn't on this, come on, hurry up. It was like, "Hey, go down to Midway. You'll find this, you'll find that." Everything. The food was fantastic. It was just, we stopped and got some French fries while we were out on cart on that following day, and they were so hot you had to let them cool off. That's unheard of on a Midway usually. But so it was a home run from top to bottom, and I've had some of our wrestling fans now says, "Wow, I didn't realize racing can be so much fun." So I think it was a great crossover. It was a great marriage, and I am just thankful and honored that your organization chose SICW to be a part of that. And I think we're going to be moving forward, as Curtis kind of let the cat out of the bag. But he said, "Well, I'm going to wait until Chris gets back and let him tell you all the nuts and bolts." Now, either he just wanted to let you do that, or he didn't know all the nuts and bolts.
He knew we were working on something, but he didn't know all the specifics. But just one thing to kind of get back, we pride ourselves on being a representative of this community, and for a lot of people, when they come here, the event at Worldwide Technology Raceway, that might be their vacation for the year. We had people from 20 countries. Can't remember. I think it's 46 states that were here.
That's what Curtis said.
It was a tremendous turnout, and for a lot of those people, this is their first time coming to Southwest Illinois, or for a lot of them, it's their first time coming to a NASCAR race. So we want to make sure everybody feels welcome. So that's one of the things that we try to do. We want to show the best of our community, and obviously working with you and your team, you're part of this community and representing all the positives that we have going on here. So it was a really received well, it went very well, and shortly after, Mike Buellhorn gives me a call and he says, "I think Herb might want to do this again." And I'm like, "Well, let's do it again. Let's try it." And we've got IndyCar coming up on August 17th, and we've got NHRA coming back in September. So why not do something where we showcase this to not only NASCAR fans, but IndyCar fans and NHRA fans, and let's see what happens.
You heard that, fans. Let's take a break, another commercial break. We come back and we're going to talk a little bit more about, I'm going to have Chris explain to you what the difference was between the Midway on the Melee on the Midway race that day and what we can look forward to as we move forward towards August the 17th. We'll be right back.
Wrestling fans, there's nothing better than barbecue and wrestling. When you're hungry, stop by Mr. Barbecue with 2 locations to serve you in Columbia and Waterloo, Illinois. Great barbecue, cold beverages, and SICW wrestling.
There you have it, fans. Another great sponsor each and every Sunday night here on SICW Championship Wrestling. We appreciate all the kind help that you give us keeping those days of wrestling at the Chase and SICW alive. Chris, we're talking about the past race now. We're talking about August 17th. Mm-hmm. Can you explain to some of our wrestling fans who are just maybe getting a little taste of the racing what they can expect was different from the first one to this one?
Well, mainly the biggest difference will just be the type of racing that we have. So, with NASCAR, it's your traditional stock car racing. With IndyCar, it's open wheel cars, over 200 miles an hour. We've got a great day of racing planned. So it's going to be a fun day because we have vintage Indy cars. So there's going to be cars from the 30s and 40s all the way through modern era Indy cars that'll be out early in the day doing some demonstration runs. Then we have the Indy Next series, which is the launching pad that gets drivers to the next level. And then that evening we have the Bommarito Automotive Group 500 for the NTT IndyCar series. So these are the same guys that race at the Indianapolis 500. So it's the best of the best, some of the top drivers in the world. And throughout that afternoon, we're also going to have some music. We're going to have SICW Championship Wrestling leading into the big show. So it's going to be another fun day. So it's going to be an action-packed midway, just like we had at NASCAR. Just a different type of racing and a little different feel for this particular event.
Well, I'm telling you, fans, and if you've never experienced it, or if you were lucky enough to be out there, the past show that we had there, and you enjoyed it, I'm sure you're going to come back. And speaking of that, we'll have some tickets available like we did last time.
Yeah, at each SICW event leading up to the Bommarito Automotive Group 500, we'll have some tickets available, and we'll have representatives from the track there. So if you've never been to an IndyCar race, the sheer speed is absolutely unbelievable, and it's going to be a fun event. We also have some music afterwards. A very popular band from that a lot of people saw in America's Got Talent. Steel Panther will be playing after the show's over with. They're always a fun time. Monster Energy's got some great things going on in the midway. So it's going to be a very, very fun day that everybody can enjoy.
So a question I got, and we stay busy, but the logistics of putting together this large of event, the staff that you got, it's got to be a well-oiled machine. Because there was no glitches that you see. I'm sure there was behind the scene, but there's got to be those go-to people. Yeah, what can you tell us about that? I know Chris does a lot.
There's so many people that make this thing possible. It came about in our very first race. We had a lot of things going on at the time. The track was much smaller then, and we were trying to figure out where we were going to park everybody. And we had all these things that we were working on, and a lot of people were starting to get a little bit rattled. And I went over the radio and I said, "Everybody, just remember to enjoy the chaos." So what we try to do is we make what we're doing fun, even when it is sometimes chaotic and you're trying to put all these pieces of the puzzle together. But we have great people in our ticketing department, in our operations, our EMS safety team. They're one of the best in the business. They're just our maintenance and facilities department. There's so many people that work on this, and we bring in a lot of people. We're still a small organization when you compare us to some of the other tracks. We bring in some of the best people from around the country to help us out, people that I've worked with through my 30 plus years in the business. So we have a good support team as well. So the good thing about it is that each year, we haven't had a tremendous amount of turnover in the people that really produce the events. So each year those relationships get better, everybody knows their role, and each event gets a little bit easier, a little bit better for us, and it's working out very, very well.
Well, I've seen it. I was there I guess it was the second year, maybe the first year, maybe, and that's before all of the work on the interstate had got done, and the traffic was a nightmare. But this last one, it was smooth. People weren't waiting. They were able to get in. They were able to get out after the show was over.
Yeah.
So, I know a lot of hard work takes place, and we make it all that way for you, the fans, whether you're the wrestling fan, whether you're the racing fan. But now I know you're both, because you're going to come back. you come and get those tickets in advance, because I'm telling you, they're going to go fast. This is going to be, Curtis had said this was another almost a record breaking, or you did break a record for this last race. And we want to help them do that. We want to help pack those stands. We want you to be there for the music, for all the great food, for the SICW wrestling, and it's just going to be a great event once again, and that's going to be on Saturday, August the 17th.
Yep.
And then you've even got us coming back in September.
Yeah, coming back for NHRA, which NHRA, we've been having the Midwest Nationals now. This will be the 13th one since Curtis reopened the track, and it's been around since 1997 with the first owners. But the NHRA is just absolutely amazing show on a totally different perspective, because you're watching cars go from a standing start to 340 miles an hour, high 330s in 1,000 feet. And so it's basically like watching a rocket launch on the ground. And this year we're returning to having 2 Friday night qualifying sessions under the lights. That's going to be absolutely incredible because of the header flames coming off the cars. So it's going to be a really fun show. And then and Saturday is always the big day for that one. And on our midway, we'll have SICW Championship Wrestling. Right there, you'll be able to watch wrestling while the teams are working on their cars just a few feet away, getting ready for the next pro session. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Well, that was going to be my most important question for that event, because where we were at for the first time and the second time, I don't know if I want to be at that same spot when that 340 mile an hour coming down that way, because somebody told me that sand pit or whatever over there is where they end up at, and I could throw a rock and hit that. So exactly. I can imagine a car or whatever you call them coming down 340 miles an hour. I don't know if I want to be standing there.
Yeah, the great thing, it's going to be just off the starting line. It's right in the area where the team, so after every run, the teams will go back, they'll completely rebuild their cars, tear the engines apart, rebuild them. So we're going to have the wrestling in that immediate area of all that's going on. So there's going to be a lot of neat stuff. It'll be totally different. Great.
And that's on Saturday, September the 28th. So I'm telling you, man, we could sit here and talk about this all night, but the way you really want to live and feel the excitement of that, if you've never been there, you got to make sure you get those tickets. We'll be back at the Fireman's Hall on August the 3rd. That will be a chance to get some more of the tickets. Come there. Come and get the tickets for the big race on August the 17th, and you will not be disappointed. I think they went pretty good last time when we had them advance tickets on sale. So for those of you fans who bought them, bring the extra money and buy the tickets for the races. You won't be disappointed. Fans, we're going to take another little commercial break. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up, and so stay tuned. Wrestling fans, as always with wrestling, we always have a special attraction. And tonight, we also have that special attraction. I want to introduce you to a lovely lady, Allison Vandermore, and she is the executive assistant to Mr. Blair, Mr. Buellhorn, and probably Mr. Francois. She's the spark behind the knock at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. Allison, welcome to the studio. And I got to tell you, you've added a bunch of color, a bunch of beauty. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I want to go back. You attended the first SICW wrestling show, probably the first wrestling show you ever attended, right?
That is correct.
And it was at the Belclair Fairgrounds a few months ago, and you got kind of hog-tied into doing that, I think.
I did. And little to my knowledge, it would probably be the most memorable night that I've had in a long time. From a wrestler coming up onto our table, spilling drinks on Chris, it was definitely a time to be had.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. You know, I was tied up. So, but it was a fun night at the Belclair Fairgrounds. As you heard Allison say, it was her first venture of attending a live wrestling show, and it was at SICW. And to say that she got up and close personal to the action, I mean, as she said, Bobby D for somehow either tripped or maybe he got helped with landing up on her table. And poor Chris and Mike from the racetrack. It was a great night, but tell the fans what the overall experience of that evening was.
A lot of excitement, a lot of energy. I couldn't believe, the wrestling aside, I couldn't believe how engaged the fans were with the wrestling. They've got their favorites, they've got their not so favorites, if we want to say. A lot of booing, a lot of cheering. It was a lot to take in for my first time, though. I will say that, not knowing anything about it. Chris said, come to wrestling, you'll enjoy it, and little did I know I would. So I'll probably be at August 6th or 8th.
Yeah.
Is it the 8th?
You'll probably be at all of them.
All of them.
Yeah, August 3rd, we'll have a show at the Fireman's Hall in Collinsville, Illinois. But I want to cover just a little bit. You are so important at the racetrack. I saw you in action. I saw you directing traffic and do this, do that, go here, go there. I saw you on the golf cart. I saw you off the golf cart. So it was very busy for you.
Very.
Was you surprised at the amount of fans that were attending the wrestling show that day?
I was not surprised, but I was pleasantly surprised at how many people were around that wrestling rink. Whether it was in the middle of the rain delay or the first one that we had, there was a lot of people. A lot of people didn't know what was going on, but once they saw the action start, it definitely piqued their interest, and they stayed as long as they could, even if it bled over into some of the on-track activity. So that was good to see.
That's great. The one thing I was disappointed in, and you know, I bragged about everything going on, and man, I just loved it all, but I really thought that when Chris and I was out there getting wet, that you'd have brought us an umbrella.
Yeah, that is one call that he did not tell me to bring.
He did not make the call,
He
did
did not make the call.
So we'll blame Chris for not getting us the umbrella. We had a little canopy over that golf cart, but I mean, we were soaking wet. But it was fun. It was enjoyable. I can't wait to do it again on August 17th when we return to another big racer. And I know you'll be there.
I will be there, and I will see all of you guys there.
Very good. There you have it. You're hearing those words from Allison. She's basically saying be there August 17th at the Worldwide Technology Raceway when Racing and Wrestling returns with another great event. Thank you, and now we're going to get back to some more talking about it. Chris, I want to take a minute and go back for maybe somebody who's just tuned in for the first time or maybe didn't get to see it. We've got some clips of the Midway and the crowd that was there when it was raining. So we're going to show that to you right now before we leave you. But remember, and Chris, I can't thank you enough, Mr. Chris Blair, General Manager of Worldwide Technology Raceway, joining us here this Sunday evening, taking time out of his busy schedule because this man lives and breathes racing. Right?
It's pretty much have to.
Pretty much have to.
Yeah.
So, but he took his time out of his busy schedule to be here with us to tell you a little bit about August 17th and September 28th when SICW returns to the racetrack with the racing and wrestling. So take a look at this crowd shot and then join us back here next Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Have a good week.